everybody, welcome back to FnA Van Life. Today we have a very special, unique tour. We have Kat and Zach, and they are going to show us their no-build Sprinter build. Take it away.
We planned to buy our van and have like a month or two to build it out, but it took about a month to buy the van, and then our lease was up. So this is what we've done for just temporarily getting on the road.
This is a 2005 Dodge Sprinter. It's a diesel. Turbo. It gets pretty good gas mileage. It's, you know, it's extra long, and for me, I'm 6'1", so extra tall was sort of like in order. It's just tall enough for me to stand up in there, which is pretty awesome. Like, if you can't stand up, you're gonna hate your life.
Amen to that
Honestly.
one.
Here we go. Realized when we had our first looky-loo that we should put up some like blackout stuff. So this just came from Home Depot, and it was like for interior houses, and you basically just put water on there, and with a credit card you smooth it on. It did a pretty good job, but just to make sure no one with a flashlight could see, we went to St. Vincent de Paul, which is our favorite thrift store.
Absolutely.
Got these really sexy curtains here.
Oh, so sexy.
Oh,
Really
yeah.
fancy.
Yep, and it's basically just hanging on a wooden dowel, no big deal. I guess we'll just start from the back and work our way to the front.
Perfect.
All right, if you're gonna be out in the woods, this is a must. Now, this is mine. There's also like, this is like sort of a his and hers set, babe. So this is mine, and this is hers.
Ah,
You know?
nice.
This also works for like traveling, you know, much easier to carry.
Yeah, you're really gonna wanna have one of these when you've just had coffee and you go for a hike. So it fits right in my backpack. Come in handy already a couple of times.
Oh, yeah.
Most of this stuff is just stuff that we already had.
Yes.
Like this camp stove we've had forever.
You guys were avid campers before you bought the van.
Oh yeah, we did a ton of tent camping, and it was fun, but I don't think we'll go back because this is just so much more fun, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, we agree.
Yeah, we mostly have been tailgating.
Yep, so like it fits pretty nicely. I usually grill out right here, and she's usually back there prepping the food and stuff.
Which isn't that different from our house actually, except for the location of things.
So
What do you do if it's rainy?
We haven't had rain
that
yet.
problem yet.
Arizona.
Yeah.
In the summer.
So we've been on the road for like about 3 months, and it's summertime, and
We gotta get it built before it rains in California.
yeah. It's awesome to have coffee in the morning, but you know, we usually just cook once a day, and leftovers for the second meal, and you know, dried food for the rest, and it's pretty awesome. We don't keep any propane back here when we're sleeping. We put it up in the front. There's a partition that we taped off all the holes, so even if it leaks, the front windows are cracked, and it's airtight, so we're safe.
Nice.
That's our
Cooking situation. I guess we'll see where you prep and stuff when we get inside.
Yeah.
Totally, it's the floor. Also, we have a cutting board, a really fancy invention.
So yeah, I guess the next thing you'll notice is our shelving. So what we did is we got some milk
move
crates,
this.
things that like the grocery store didn't want, and we zip tied them all together, and then we attached them with zip ties to the wall back here. For places we have stuff that might fall out when it's jostling around, we just use some rope.
Like all the kitchen-y food stuffs has slightly more ropes, and we discovered that if you're gonna go over something bumpy, you really wanna wedge a lot of stuff in there, because we've had a couple of cups jump out and break.
Yeah, well that's only when it's loose.
That's only when it's loose. So if you're going like kind of off-roading, just like we wedge it a little extra with whatever we have, or towels, or
Bungee it real good.
yeah, because right now nothing closes.
So containers are nice. Old coffee can, all your silverware.
That's a good hack right there.
You know, like
We
so
just
easy.
upgraded from the cup that jumped out and broke the bottom off.
Clothes and shoes stay in. They
most part,
they don't
yeah.
really need anything to lash them in.
We did have to.
If you want to be like, you know, hanging out and like not having anyone see our dirty laundry, you just put this down.
Nice.
Classy.
Yeah, because we're like doing a lot of tailgating at parks and things, and we're cooking out right here, and people are walking by and like, hey, how's it going? And it just was sort of nice to have a little privacy. Yeah.
You made it super friendly and cheap for yourself until you realize exactly how you really want to make it. You know, you really...
Well, and that's a good point, because since these are just like zip tied in, we've actually rearranged the van about 3 times. So we've tried bed in the back, we've tried bed in the middle, sort of making 2 rooms, and this is sort of the design we settled on.
Cool.
Mostly because our sliding door doesn't work.
And we opened it up.
We tried to fix it, but it was too far
not
gone.
happening.
It's like someone had took a screwdriver and really done a number on it. So with an old van like this, it's like, it's not really worth fixing every little thing, especially if it's functional and it works the way you need it to.
Yeah.
So.
And it's actually working out pretty great for us. We've moved around several times, and this is the only time we've actually like set up our cooler.
So
Got
yeah.
that igloo magic.
So this is on top of the wheel well here, and
We have sort of hacked up some crates so they would fit around to hold everything up. So on the both sides is the same. We had some extras. Luckily, it was enough to sort of wedge it in there.
This is in there. We can like lift it out, no problem. But it's not going anywhere when we drive. And then another thing we do during the day is we keep it covered with an extra blanket. And this will make your ice last about twice as long. Also, use a block of ice, not loose
Oh
chips.
yeah, the block lasts so much longer, but not every store has it.
Put a thick comforter over it that's doubled up all around it. It becomes like a $200 Yeti cooler.
Oh, look at you go.
Exactly. This is actually genuine Yeti insulation, pre-stuffed. No, just kidding.
This is where the dog sleeps.
Very
So we have a 60-pound Shepherd Lab mix, and what we've done is we've sort of like, you know, put our sheets around it. There's stuff back there and stuff along the side too, and then this is her door.
cute.
So she can have her own little space and stay warm, because we're up in the mountains now and it gets down to about 30, low 30s. If we put her in there with like a little sweater, she's totally warm all night. Like every other van, you know, it's storage underneath. And obviously the important things you use a lot, like a guitar, wash bowl, and sort of like our sink. Some of her craft supplies is near the front. And then the stuff that we never really use, it goes all the way in the back. So what we did for our frame here is we just set up our massage tables. So these legs are adjustable, which I think is what we're gonna do for our final build. Legs like this, so that when we park like in a street where things aren't level, we can adjust our bed however we need.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if the van's not level, you can adjust the bed. Right now, because we're using 2 of these, we can only adjust the back up and down.
There's nothing bridging the gap, actually. It's just
2.
a giant mattress and we don't feel the gap.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. What kind of, is it memory foam or is it a real mattress?
This is
It is a
memory,
memory foam.
It was a king. To make it fit, we took a razor blade and cut off like about 4 or 6 inches.
Right.
We are gonna be in the van for a while. So let's just sleep on the mattress that we love. And yeah, that was kind of surprisingly easy to cut.
We put up a curtain because that partition there has a window to the front.
Have to have your James Dean leather jacket.
It's like the only hanger we kept because this doesn't roll up very nice, you know? Also, a thrift store find. We had started to put tint up here, and then keeping the windows open kind of like has rumpled that. But we just keep our little curtain up. Eventually, when we build it out, we're planning to take this out and have a pass-through door. That'll also help because then we'll be able to access these sides of the legs to do an adjustment.
Yeah, you're head to toe.
We're actually sleeping this way. So if we street park, then we're like crooked, rolling into each other, as opposed to like most people are able to sleep the other way or their van's a little larger. So you're not like, you don't have to adjust so much for street parking, but we want to have options because our life's really fluid right now. We've done some traveling in our first van and sleeping crooked really sucked.
Our first van was a 91 Ford Econoline, and it was low, and that was like the real killer. But it was actually a lot of fun. And it was only, I think we put $500, we insulated walls, floors, ceilings, and built a bed frame and a lockbox for my guitar for that. You know, just 2x4s, some plywood.
Yeah, we were in that for like 4 months. That's what we did for our honeymoon, is we just Drove around the country.
So yeah, so I can tell you from experience, it is so much better to be able to stand up in your van. Nice
So
to have
much better.
insulation for the cold, which we don't have any heater or AC back here. And we made it through the Midwest in the summer with this one. And actually having this metal for the humidity was awesome. Because without the insulation, when we went through the Midwest in the summer, the van wouldn't cool down until about 11 or 12. With this just being metal, it cooled down by like 9 or 10. If we're getting rain, it's going to be too loud. So for the winter, we're definitely going to want to insulate.
The supports are like too low for him.
I know, I was just thinking that, like, you're the perfect height for no insulation.
For no insulation.
Yeah, eventually we're going to put in like a big skylight here. So when I'm cooking, this is going to be the stove.
Okay.
So I can stand up here and like get changed and do stuff. I think that'll be enough. These are a little taller than we would want.
The bed?
Yeah. 'Cause
Well,
these
it's
are
both
just-
too tall and it's too low because it's a little low for the dog to get under.
Well,
But it's a
fine
little
for the dog, but-
high for us if you're like, having sex.
Yes.
Ever.
That's a #1 consideration for living in the
Especially
van.
when you insulate and we're losing a couple more inches. So you really want to get up in there.
You can
and
make
test
it
that
work.
out.
It totally works, but it's nice to be able to just like,
Not
go
hit your
wild,
head?
and not worry about it, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
No wonder you have such a big bed.
So this is gonna come down,
Couple inches.
A little bit.
For sure.
What do you guys do for water since you don't have like a big storage tank?
We've got a couple of jugs. These actually aren't even gallons. I think it's 3 liters. Right now there's 6 here and there's another one floating around somewhere. We've just been filling up in town. Luckily, Flagstaff has delicious water. So we actually haven't paid for water in a while, which is kind of cool. But you can always get like fill-ups at like grocery stores usually have them. This is our sink.
Very nice. That'd be nice actually.
As a sink.
As a sink, when you put it all
Yeah.
together, you just drill a hole in the center.
Well, actually,
put
yeah,
the-
we're kind of like gonna keep it fairly like low tech even when we get built out. So I was thinking we would use it as a sink and just cut like a hole in our counter so it can sit.
Correct, yep.
But every once in a while we make like a ginormous amount of food and we'll actually just like wash it out and use it as like a huge like salad bowl or something. So
Perfect.
it's kind of,
Multi-purpose.
we're using a little bit of
totally.
everything, yeah.
I mean, I think everything in the van is supposed to be multi-purpose. Like that's one of the biggest
Yeah.
things about living in a van is being able to utilize each thing as 10 different things.
So,
Or have no things.
Yeah, I'll have none.
We bought this thing and it was a cargo van, and the floor was a little dirty because they, spilled some oil on it. So we put a sheet of plastic down underneath. And this goes all the way over this plywood. In our final build, we're not gonna have any plastic. It's gonna be all like wood or metal or glass. Probably not glass that much, but
After the mug incident.
yeah, it's
Right.
gonna be all like natural. What we found with putting plastic stuff in is that if
Yeah.
you smell it and it stinks, it'll probably keep stinking for a really long time.
So long.
Yeah, so like everything
Yeah.
we have at least passed the sniff test.
So you guys want to do like a very eco-friendly build, it sounds like.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like all natural materials and it's gonna be low tech. So it's like there's not gonna be anything to break or anything to maintain. It's, we'll probably get like maybe a stainless steel water jug so we don't have to fill up water so much. Because right now we have enough water for 2 days at a time. Between the 2 of us and the dog, we're going through about 3 gallons a day in the cool weather and maybe up to 5 gallons in the hot weather.
Yeah.
So we're thinking we'll get like about 30 gallons and we'll probably last a week.
This is just like old sheets from like our queen bed that we tossed when we moved out. And it's just something to put on top of the plastic so it's not ripping. It gets dirty real fast. And we use our really fancy $1 brooms. That's right. You too can own this broom. Like I'm just sweeping it out every day and then it gets really dirty again.
Well, you have the
And
dog too, and I feel
our
like
dog
it's
is just rolling in
impossible.
this like red dirt and
Oh,
she's
yeah.
so happy, but she's always just tracking crap in. When we have like the wood floor, can actually like really clean it out. So that'll be at some point in the future.
So here's a tool that's helpful for parking at night. You do front to back, so you know which way to put your head. As long as you're within a half bubble, you'll be comfortable. So for lights, I found this in Oregon on the road. I was just picking up a piece of trash. Surprise, surprise,
Ooh.
Super bright little LED light.
This is like an LED lantern, but it's a horrible color, so we put it in a little orange thing. I can't wait to like get like some sort of incandescent color, but it's good for just like some ambiance at night if you're just like not trying to trip over the dog as you get out of the bed.
So we have the orange curtain over it because that like warm light will put you right to sleep. We've already recouped the purchase price of the van in terms of rent we didn't have to pay.
Yep.
And you know what? You can get an old van and you can take like a day and build it out with stuff that's almost free. You know, anyone can do it and have a great time. And you know, if you get into a situation where it's like, you know, wildfire breaks out or it's like snowing or dark, you can always spring for a hotel for a night.
I'm actually really glad that we didn't get it built out before we moved, like full-time into the van, because we both had some ideas of how we wanted things to look, and you know, we were like 50-50 on the same page. And just being in the van and having like figuring out where everything would go and how we would do things and the operations of stuff, like has helped us figure out how we want to do our final build. It's going to be more of a pain in the ass later when we're like living in the van and we have to take all our stuff out and then build it. However, I think that the end result's going to be better for us.
Yeah.
Because we kind of like, this is like the test run.
You know, we've been living in apartments. We've been paying more and more in rent, and we've been having terrible neighbors, poorly insulated buildings where it's like it's noisy all the time, and
our sleep has
we just
been
basically couldn't sleep very well. At like any of the last 3 places, there may have been some like, you know, mold and like other things that may have been poisoning us a little bit. At least that's what I think now that I moved into the van, because I swear to God, like a week in here, I was sleeping like a baby.
The dog was super happy. She was like a puppy again. We were like, and this was before this level, where I don't think we had even zip tied anything to anything, and it was just like shoved, everything just shoved in. This is definitely my favorite house we've had, and we haven't even built it yet. Yeah. So I'm pretty excited.
Yeah. So yeah, it was actually really good timing with this whole like, I think the whole like Corona thing gave us a nice shove, because it was like, well, we're not working. Our lease is almost up. We hate our apartment. Like, what are we gonna do? Yeah, I'm saying like, you know, $2,500 for a van is a much better investment than $2,500 a month in rent for like a shitty apartment.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the tour. Thank Kat and Zach for showing you guys how you could do it out here. It doesn't matter. As long as you're trying to get out here and just live the life and explore, enjoy nature, and just be a little bit more of a minimalist is just great. So make sure to click that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye, thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome.